This is going to be day 69 of Carnivore. We wanted to update y'all. We are broadcasting live on ThemeTube, Rumble, and the Tweeter.
Yeah, and the backup channel.
And the backup channel, the Fearless Podcast channel.
Which is no longer the backup channel. It's
now the Fearless Podcast channel.
So.
So just to get announcements out of the way, please subscribe to our podcast. You'll see the link down below. New and exciting news, we now have a Mike Adams Brighteon store. So when we visited Mike, we got to tour the facility and saw all the quality control. It was very impressive. Yeah. So we made a list of some of the products that we use. You can check that link down below. The Texas Boys has a Brighteon store. Everything, the quality control is incredible, and everything is organic, and he does all the testing there on site. It's very, very impressive.
Yeah. But, the cool thing is that he produces products that you already use. So then if you can buy it from him, you know, and he does all of his own testing on his own products, which is really cool. With these big fancy like lab computers, it's very impressive. Yeah. So definitely check that out, and then as always, check out the texasboys.com. Yeah, absolutely.
If you're local, we got beef and pork still available. So
we just restocked it actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have 2 whole cows available this month, but also
September for September.
Sorry, September for September.
August is sold out,
and those 2 cows will be available. Of course, you can buy them whole, or you can buy them in a half or a quarter, and that's the same with the pigs for this month. So if you are close or near the Northeast Texas area, you can go on over to thetexasboys.com under the butcher shop. And it'll show you, I think it's only $100 deposit that you have to put down. And then we get into contact with you, and then, you know.
Grass-fed, grass-finished.
Yeah.
So
local pickup.
Check us out.
Yeah.
We appreciate
it's really exciting.
Appreciate and love y'all.
Non-vaccinated, grass-fed, grass-finished animals. So it's really neat.
So let's talk about 69 days of a carnivore. Family of 8.
It's very exciting.
And so what's the update? I have updates.
Okay.
I have impressive updates.
Do you want to go first?
You should go first.
So anybody that's been following us and knows my whole shoulder scenario, if you don't know it, go back in our videos and you can learn all about that. Continual progress with the shoulder, continues to heal. As of this week, so I had a bicep tendinosis. And when did I have surgery? Forget exactly when that was.
You had surgery. It was
in October, wasn't it?
You keep talking and I'll figure it out. It was 6 months before.
I had surgery quite a while ago, and maybe September, October, and this has been numb since surgery. And a couple of the different docs said, you know, with that much trauma and all that scraping around in there, you know, that's probably, the numbness has just started to go away this week. And my range of motion continues to improve. I'm up to sets of 40.
It's crazy.
So I can do 41. I can almost do 42 push-ups.
Really?
It's so
in
crazy.
A set. That's impressive.
So, so I continue to make gains. My weight, originally I went from 167 to 157, so I lost 10 pounds, and then in the less than 2 weeks, I'm back up to 161. So I know the muscle is going back on. My waist circumference has stayed the same, so I'm not putting weight back on, but I'm putting muscle back on. So things continue to improve.
Yeah. And then also we added butter to our diet now, which is really good because we were saying that we needed to up our fat intake more, and you know, we can't always be eating bacon all the time.
Right.
So we were like, we're gonna have to get some more fat in our diet. So one of the easiest things is to just put a glob of butter in your coffee in the morning, which certain people on Carnivore have coffee. Certain people don't. I still drink coffee even on the carnivore diet, and I still like it. So it's just what I do.
Benjamin says that he has actually gotten below 200 pounds.
Yay!
For the first time in his adult
That
life.
is amazing.
We shall celebrate with Benjamin.
Yes.
We love hearing your stories and celebrating with you and encouraging y'all as you continue on this whole health process, really health and healing. We're really excited. That's why we're sharing it. And we can say that for the 8 of us, and the gamut runs from 5 to 47, that is definitely a viable diet for the whole family.
Absolutely.
That has all kinds of intrinsic
And
benefits.
another exciting thing is we haven't been sick for 69 days.
Now that's a huge update.
We need to interject like
do we have
a
any
sound.
kind of sound
I know,
effect?
we need
we have
like-
no
we
celebration.
we have no
All
sound.
of our sound effects are kind of satirical.
Yeah, but okay, so we were sick on the plant-based diet. We were sick on the whole foods diet. And now we try the carnivore diet, and we're no longer sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
We weren't perpetually sick on those diets.
Every 60 days.
No, but every
every
60 days.
Yeah.
And it was because of
Every
certain
month.
occurrences
Right.
that happened 3 years ago. And ever since those occurrences,
we
were, all 8 of us effectively as a family were sick every 60 days for about 30 days.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I mean, it was just a great...
It was horrible.
I love being...
horrible.
a deep chest
I
cough.
love being the control group.
Well, and-
But remember, YouTube, just for YouTube since they're listening.
Oh, yeah.
This is a comedy show. And with what we're talking about right now.
And I would like to remind everybody.
This is just a big joke.
And
a whole
vaccines
big
are
joke.
safe and effective. So
It's all a big
exactly.
joke.
vaccines are very safe and very effective.
Exactly. And we love
And
them. We love Joe Biden.
Okay.
All
guys.
of the people. Yeah.
What made
So,
us stop plant-based diet
we'll get
was
to
we
that.
didn't want to die.
That's a good question.
We'll get to that in one second, Kayla. But let's go on to your 69-day update.
Yeah.
Matt.
My 69 day update is it's been going really good. I'm the heaviest I've ever been.
Yeah, so
which is good. Heavy in a good way.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
It's been the heaviest I've been and the leanest I've been all at the same time. Which
Because
is amazing.
Interesting.
You gained.
I gained several pounds. I've gained close to about roughly 5 to 8 pounds on the carnivore diet.
Oh, okay. Because you
Yes.
were up to 10, but it fluctuates.
Yeah, but then I was thinking back. Yeah, it does fluctuate a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to not go too crazy and say 10 pounds, but I'll say 5 to 8 pounds of muscle actually.
Meathead Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to call him Meathead Matt.
But have you noticed a difference in your the size of your waist? Because you lift.
The size of my waist has shrank dramatically. So I'm down.
Diminished.
Yeah, I actually just had a health check because I'm getting life insurance and everything, and my waist was down to a 29.
Yeah, and if you're interested, since we're talking about life insurance, if you're interested in private family banking, we are going to have an exclusive Fearless podcast. I'm going to have my wonderful friend Chuck on there to discuss that. So look out for that. We have several guests lined up. I have Billy from Pasture Farms. And then I also have Texas Slim from the Beef Initiative, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I appreciate the Beef Initiative and what they're doing. So, and born and raised here in Texas, so that does it get any better?
Yes. So let's go on to.
You want to answer her first question or no?
Not yet. I just want to do my 69-day
Sure,
update, and then I can just kind of include in the little kids as well, and the kids that aren't here, just kind of speak for everybody. So, we're doing fantastic. I think the really cool thing is that you can play around so much with this diet. Like, I think sometimes they say people start it as an elimination diet, and then they end up being like, wow, this really works and it's really working out well. You know, Dr. Barry always says, try it for 30 days and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Try it for a week and see how it goes, but try it for 30 days is his initial, like, to try to get you jump started with it.
Absolutely.
And even if you just use it as an elimination diet for 30 days and see how it goes. And then most people find that it is so beneficial in so many ways. Issues that you didn't even realize that you were having, you know, sleep issues, skin issues, it just, we could rattle on a list of
brain
like fog, energy level, depression, anxiety, hormones, balancing out your hormones and your emotional health. Just like there's so many things that this can potentially help with, because you don't, most of the time, most of us don't realize that we're even suffering from these things because it becomes so normal. You know,
get used to it, you know.
Absolutely. So,
and I was talking to some guys from work, you know, when I said it, I was when we had our friends over, you know, and me and him are the same age, and I said, you know, you just kind of chalk it up to like, I'm getting old, so this is what getting old's like, and it really stinks, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you switch things up and you're like, wait a minute, I sleep awesome, I feel awesome, I have lots of energy, my joints don't hurt. Wow, like, this is like weird.
And it's hard to remember all of the things too. Like a lot of things, like somebody will say something, or you'll look back at an old video or picture and you're like, oh, that's right, that used to be an issue, and now that's not really an issue. So we did hit our 60-day marker for our sickness plague that we have been having to deal with since the 2020, and we soared right through it. We got a very mild symptoms, nothing that laid us out. Very, very mild, very manageable, and it was great. And that was the first time since 2020. So that's gigantic. And I even put it on my calendar on my phone. I counted out 60 more days from that date, so I would know what the date will be in September when we hit that 60-day mark again. And I just want to continue to track it and see how we do and if we get better. And it was funny because
also we've been going to like church meetings and conferences.
We've been around a lot of people.
So we've been around a lot of people too. So it's not like, oh, we're just like only on the farm.
Right.
And people are going to be like, well, that's why you're not getting sick.
Which was always crazy, because before we weren't.
We weren't around anybody and we kept getting sick.
And then
like,
we would still, how are we getting sick?
What in the world? I feel like I'm the control group.
That's been gigantic. And, you know, all of the different things I've noticed, just my little kids, they can eat in the morning and they won't be hungry again until like almost dinner time. I mean, whereas before you were perpetually making food, like you would make them something for breakfast and then 20 minutes later they're hungry again. And then 20 minutes later they're snacking. And then, you know, and now it's like they can have a big breakfast with, you know, bacon or eggs or, you know, beef or something really substantial. And then they eat until they're full and then they are gone for the day. They are not in the kitchen begging for food. And that's just been phenomenal. We did add back in butter, and we thankfully have a good source of butter. When you're looking for butter, you're just looking for cream as your only ingredient. Or if you do choose to buy salted butter, then it would be cream and salt. We go with
no natural flavors.
Right. We go with the unsalted butter, so it's just cream.
So it doesn't have the nasty white salt in it.
Real salt.
And then we add back in the Redmond's real salt to it. So
super good.
I also discovered brown butter bites this month, and that has been like so amazing. That's been super amazing.
She loves them.
I thoroughly enjoy them with a dollop of honey.
I don't put honey on mine.
I just put them in my coffee.
They're just amazing.
Not the bites, but I just put butter in my coffee.
Yeah, and
that's incredible.
The other change is we went from canned heavy coconut cream, because we're basically dairy free. Other than the butter, we're basically dairy free carnivores.
We don't drink milk. or anything like that.
Right, we don't have So so we're dairy free except for the butter that we added back in.
Delicious.
But I did find a ketovore recipe that does heavy coconut cream and eggs, and then I add in a little bit of vanilla and just a couple tablespoons of our honey, and that ice cream is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the kids really been enjoying it. It's very, very simple. I told you the ingredients. It's very, very simple ice cream.
And the other coffee hack has been organic beef tallow.
And this month, beef tallow.
Yeah.
I have
I
to
wanna
tell
say
you
something,
about the
but go
beef
ahead.
tallow.
Hey Brian, so my buddy Brian has went with my coffee with the 4 or 5 raw eggs in the immersion blender, and he said
Okay.
it's like incredible. So Brian, add the beef tallow, bro. Now look, here.
So you put butter and
yes,
beef tallow.
butter and beef tallow.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. See, I like a cold brew, cold coffee. Now with your beef tallow, you're
I
going.
like a pour over.
Yeah, you're gonna want to. You're
Heat it
going to
up.
want to heat your butter and your tallow, liquefy it, and then put it in an immersion blend it. If your coffee is on the warmer side, it won't like froth. If your coffee is on the colder side, it will froth and thicken. So if you just
It's
warm it up a little bit,
amazing.
that'll knock that back down. But
Amazing.
It's
So I was
incredible.
having a little bit of complications with going to the bathroom, kind of the opposite of what, and I know there are some ladies, I studied it all out and was watching all of these different channels, and so it was a matter of I needed more fat in my diet. So I did order the big thing of grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow, and we have just been adding that into everything. So I add it right back in if we're making hamburgers, or if I'm making, like if I'm going to reheat pot roast the other day, and I just put in tons of beef tallow into it. Oh man, it sprinkled with a little Redmond salt, it tastes like meat candy. Like it's so good. It's just amazing. And the other thing that's happened too in the past month is that I've been following a different doctor. I listen to a lot of different doctors. Like most of them, I don't even remember their names because there's it's ongoing, y'all. The carnivore community and the keto community is just so gigantic. But there's a woman doctor named Dr. Bright, and she specializes in thyroid health for women, and she recommends 2 drops of Lugol's 5% for every woman, regardless if you have thyroid issues or not. That's just a great starting point. So I was a little afraid of the Lugol's iodine because I'm very sensitive to iodine. So I tried just starting with the Lugol's 2.5% instead of 5, and I just tried 1 drop, and I was very sensitive to it, and then I backed off for a little bit, and then I tried it again doing 1 drop, and then I was able to deal with it, and then I went up to 2 drops and 3 drops, and now I'm at 4 drops of the Lugol's 2.5% iodine. And you should check out Dr. Bright if you're a woman, especially if you are dealing with any type of hormone issues, thyroid issues, anything like that. She is really good for women's health. There's other ones out there too. So that's been huge for me this month is the iodine.
yeah, and regarding iodine, Dr. Brownstein wrote a book, and he basically has ascribed almost all disease to iodine. I'm on the Brownstein protocol, which is a 25% iodine, which I definitely don't recommend if you're sensitive to it, like my wife, because it'll show you a trick or two. But with iodine consumption in high doses, you need selenium, and you'll pass whatever you don't use. So I recommend Brownstein's book if you want to learn more about that.
Right.
Also,
none of us are doctors.
That's correct. So do your own research and take this all with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
and
there's lots of doctors out there.
Consult your doctor on everything.
Yeah.
So there you
Right.
go.
Yeah.
Consult all scientists,
Exactly.
scientism, read the
Trust
CDC
the science.
Right.
manual.
So there you go. But
So-
anyway, there was the one
Dr.
thing.
Fauci.
The one thing that we did try, and it was an utter flop for me and you, is you were looking into the coffee situation. And
Oh, this was
you went ahead and you played a little trick on me, and she made decaf coffee
Mm-hmm.
in the morning.
Gross.
And
dirty water.
I did not know. And I drank it, and it's high-end decaf coffee. It's
Yes.
the kind that we
It's
sell.
the Texas
So
Boys.
it tastes exactly the same. Like exactly the same. So I drank it, I'm getting to work and everything, and I was going to be taking some business courses and stuff like that. And I'm like, Mom, I got a crazy headache. I haven't had this bad of a headache in who knows how long.
Right.
And it went on for hours, and I'm racking my brain. I'm like, why in the world do I have this bad headache? I'm like, I don't know if it's this carnivore diet that we're on or what. And then Mom, later on, several hours later, she's like, you actually, I forgot to tell you this, but the coffee that was in the coffee pot
Dirty
was
water.
decaf coffee.
It was dirty water.
So I quickly ran and made myself a fresh cup of normal coffee, and my headache immediately went away, because I went without drinking any coffee, and I don't get a headache or anything like that. But something about the decaf. Now go ahead and tell your story about taking decaf coffee.
Yeah, so it was quickly fixed because you just went back to the regular coffee.
I took because you were saying, oh, here's some, take some meds for it or whatever. I'm like, nah, it's okay. I think coffee's a little bit more natural than meds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just take a cup of coffee.
So my experiment
and
was
it instantly fixed it.
yeah,
too.
and
Sorry,
you're
I'm not
fine
trying
with
to
it.
cut
Yeah,
you off.
and you I was thinking, oh, it's because you must have a caffeine addiction and you didn't get your caffeine in the morning.
Matthew.
But that is not it, because you said, no, Mom, there's several times that I've gone without drinking a cup of coffee in the morning.
Sure.
I had to
And
run
it's
out the door
whatever.
and I'm fine. I don't get a headache. So that wasn't it. It's just your one cup of coffee in the day. So, but my idea behind switching to decaf was because, if you listen to several different of the doctors, not all of them are anti-caffeine, but some of them will really encourage you to try to work towards getting away from the caffeine, and
They want you to be a woman.
even replacing it with
Sure.
Dirty water.
well come on, please, please.
All right.
So it's not your funny podcast. So
Oh,
I'm trying to have a straight thought.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So
laugh, everybody.
Haha.
so I took the decaf coffee and I switched that from my regular coffee. But what happened with me was that I had horrible lower back pain for 2 or 3 nights in a row. I did not sleep a wink. My back was just, it felt like labor pain of it was that intense. I can usually sleep through anything,
crazy.
but it was just that intensive lower back, that early labor pain when you get that lower back pain. That's what it felt like. And it was 2 or 3 nights in a row. And I thought, well, what did I do? And we did add in the butter. So I was thinking, well, maybe it's the butter. And then I thought, no, I think it could be the decaf. As soon as I switched back to the regular coffee, it's just 1 cup in the morning. And a lot of times I don't even get through the whole cup. And it just went away. So the really cool thing that tells me is not that we have horrible decaf coffee, but it tells me that because your diet is so limited, because you've narrowed things down to such a simplistic way of eating, that when you introduce something different, you can really get a very clear reading from your body of if your body likes that and reacts well to that or not. And that is so cool. I just thought that was really cool.
She's scratching
Our
so
dog.
hard on the door right now.
Yeah, for a 6-pound dog.
So-
I think there's a gorilla out there.
But the little kids are all doing great. the big people are all doing great. We've made some amazing steaks, which is really cool.
Yes.
Do you want me to go? Let me go.
You want to go
Get
her
that
out.
dog.
She is.
I was going to
That
try to
ornery
text
beast.
James, but
Okay, so let's see.
we want to answer the first question.
Yeah, which question? Here, I'll let you.
That was from Kayla. She was saying, why did we stop the plant-based diet?
We kind of hit a.
We did kind of already hit that, right?
Yeah, we
No,
hit that.
I was just
For
going to
what?
say
What were you
that
saying?
we just kind of hit a wall, Kayla, with
Right.
our progress. And we were just having so many different issues. And we were eating a very clean diet for years now, for 5 years. We basically we only ate out of our pantry. We weren't eating out, and y'all saw mostly we documented most of our old videos of what we ate and made recipes for y'all. We were gluten-free, dairy-free. We ate a very, very simplistic whole foods diet, a lot of single ingredient foods. It was very boring, which made switching over to carnivore so easy. I was telling my friend, I'm like, I'm not trying to take away anybody that had a hard time with it, but like for us, we weren't eating a standard American diet. We were eating, like a meat and a vegetable and a starch once a few times a week. We would have like a 3-side thing. A lot of times it was just meat and a vegetable, and our vegetable was green beans because that's what we have canned. So it was just so simplistic. But when I thought, well, this is so easy. I just delete the other 2 things that are on the plate and we're there. Like this is like a piece of cake.
Literally.
And but we were just having so many problems. I mean, just
with
sickness, and we couldn't get over it, and it was so frustrating. And then
the other thing that
weight gain.
Well, that too, which is just weird, gaining weight on that type of diet. The other thing that I'm really interested, and we're going to see, this will be a long game type of situation here, and I'm really interested to see, since switching on to carnivore, is we were a whole foods diet, right? Mm-hmm. And all 3 of the little ones had some of the worst teeth problems in the world. Yeah. I'm talking, it looks like when we would take them to the dentist, their teeth look like when they would x-ray them and stuff, it looked like they didn't ever drink water. They only drank soda and only ate candy for their whole entire life. I mean, the one time we went in, Junior had 20 or 30 cavities, multiple cavities on each tooth. Mm-hmm.
And we take them every 6 months. I mean, it was crazy. And they just could not understand it at the dentist's office every time we went. They would go through all the things with us, and we're just like, no, we don't do all that. And the same with my teeth. My teeth totally deteriorated.
And same with us 3 boys before going on that diet. Had never had a cavity before, and we got on that diet, and we all started having cavities. And we brushed really good. Our sugar intake was nothing. We never had any junk food,
right? Unless it was once or twice a week, something homemade.
Yeah, homemade, a cookie or whatever it was,
or something at church,
or something at a church potluck or something.
Yeah,
but other than that,
right at home, it was super clean. Whatever. It was super boring.
Very boring.
Very boring.
But anyway, so I'm really interested to see, changing our diet, how our teeth will react to that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. There's a dentist that's very pro carnivore diet, and he says that it really does help. He needs
apprentice to dentist.
Needs someone to he would be that child in your classroom. I'm so thankful I don't have to homeschool TD.
Yes, Mrs. Bateman.
So please don't say the rest. Thank you, husband.
She knows that story.
So
I actually know that story.
So that was we kept gaining weight. So a year ago, I had put on about 30 pounds or more, 35 pounds, and we were getting ready to go on a family vacation. This was last year. And so from September until December, I worked so hard. I would fast for like several days in a row, 3 to 5 day fast, water fast, eating like just one meal a day, just tuna fish and a big giant salad. I was starving, y'all. and I would just go on and on week after week. And some weeks I would lose no weight. Some weeks I would just barely lose some weight. I finally almost, not quite, made it to my goal. I was able to lose 30 pounds. But it was so incredibly difficult. And I was exercising really, really hard every day. And TD was starting to feel those same effects of just, mid 40s, y'all, get into the late 40s. It's just a different thing. And I'm like, what in the world? I'm going to have to eat like a can of tuna fish. Yeah. I'm talking plain tuna fish, y'all, not even mayo on it. Just plain tuna fish dumped on a salad with like nothing barely on it. Like, nasty. And, vegetables, and that's it. And could barely keep the weight off. So I'm thinking, what in the world? And so he was having tons of shoulder issues and just really frustrated with where he was at. And we were both having the weight issues. We were both trying to exercise. We were on the treadmill constantly and barely eating anything, like maybe popcorn a couple weeks, nights a week for a dessert. And we're like, oh, I guess this is it. We're just like old and fat and tired, and
stick a fork in
we can't do anything anymore. Yeah. This is great. And so we had nothing to lose. We were like, you know what? Let's try it. Yeah. And so we tried it, and it's just been incredible. Like, the results are incredible.
Yeah.
So it's funny because Grace had pulled up an old video from last year of me out in the garden, and you can see in that video I had to have makeup on for making videos. I always felt so self-conscious about my face that I would always have to put makeup on. And you can see in the video like all the little bumps and everything underneath my skin and under my face.
That totally went away.
It was just my back and my shoulders. I had like cystic acne. I never had that in my entire life, and I had it all on my back and my shoulders. It was painful. Yeah. And within a couple weeks of being on Carnivore, all of that went away.
Yep.
I don't have
mine all went away.
Anything like that going on. Yep. My skin, I can put makeup on just if I want to, but my skin feels good and it looks good. I don't have any breakouts. My cycles went back to normal. Like, I was having these crazy, long, like half of the month would be either me coming into a cycle or getting done of a cycle, and then it would start again, and then like heavy, and then light. It was just all over the place, which would make sense that to go with the hormonal imbalance with the cystic acne on my back, and everything was just totally out of whack. And now, ever since month 1, it's just like everything is just like clockwork. It comes, I have it for about 5 days, and then it's gone, and it's normal, and then it's gone for the whole month again. So everything is just working really well. And I noticed a big difference even with my 14-year-old son, just the emotions and the hormones. A lot of times he would struggle with just emotions, just feeling a lot of emotion during the day, and just trying to practice self-control to like deal with things. And he has been I would say flat, like as a like totally straight lined. Like he's so, and if you do have to talk to him about something, it's never a big deal anymore. Like tonight I said, oh, could you help me, with making the steaks? Or it was a lot of meat, y'all. I was asking him because he said, Mom, can I go fishing? And I said, well, I really need you to stay in here and make this meat up. And it was like 2 giant plates of meat and cut up all the steaks too. And he was like, okay. I mean, like, no hormonal, no overreaction, emotional stuff. And I knew that was his hormones that were out of whack.
Actually him.
Yeah. So that's just been incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved fish, Benjamin. So you can have fish on the side, but I don't like fish anymore. And I'm telling you, after you get started, I had, my big problem was I didn't like meat. This is my problem going on to carnivore. I didn't like meat. And my favorite meat, if I had to eat meat, was fish or maybe chicken, but mainly fish. And I didn't even like to eat that most of the time. 99% of the time during the week when I would make food for the family, I would not serve myself the meat. I would have the sides. I would have the sweet potato, the rice, the quinoa. I would have the other stuff. I would not, the vegetables, I would not serve myself the meat. And I even had a couple of my kids that would prefer not the meat or just a tiny, tiny bit of the meat. And the rest was just all of the other stuff on the plate. And so I was like, oh boy, how are we going to do this? So I just made myself eat the beef in the beginning. And I didn't like bacon ever. In my whole entire life, I never liked bacon. I would say I like the smell
I'm not
of...
agreeing with you. I love
No,
bacon,
but I would say I like the smell of bacon. I just don't want to eat bacon. I don't like it. So I was like, I don't know how this carnivore thing's going to go. And I don't like butter necessarily either. Like the people that just eat butter, like now I'm a butter girl. Like I like the butter. It tastes so good. Yeah. And I love the beef and it tastes amazing. And I would say it took about 2 weeks for me to really start eating the bacon and enjoying it and eating the beef and just craving it. And then I was like, what are we going to do with all this fish?
That's the other thing too, is that like on the carnivore diet, I don't ever feel bloated. Like I always felt pretty dang bloated after eating a normal meal with meat included. But after just eating meat, I never feel like I can really eat as much as I can until I'm totally full, but I don't feel like sickly full. Like be like, man, I gotta go like take a nap and like lay down for a while. You know, like Thanksgiving full after you just like gorged on all of like all the dressing and everything, the turkey and all the breads and everything like that. You know, not that type of like, you know, I gotta like vacation for 2 days on the couch.
And it takes your system a while. I was listening to the 5 Minute Body girl today, and she was talking about bloating and just digestion issues and stuff like that. And she had a doctor on, a different one. I forget what her name was. And she said, you know, don't forget that it's going to take your body time to adjust, because especially people that are coming from highly plant-based diets or, you know, just the standard American diet, and then all of a sudden you're putting all this meat into your body, and you know your system isn't used to you know, handling all of that. So you have to give yourself time to make adjustments. I think the really cool thing about the carnivore community is that it's so gigantic, it's so large, and people are just constantly doing interviews with all of these different people. And
that's definitely it, is once you switch over, like you're 100% doing the carnivore, the fat is so dang important. It goes from, it's so weird because when I used to eat meat normally with all the carbs and everything like that and starchy food, like trying to eat any type of fat that was connected to the meat, like if it was on a steak or on pot roast and different things like that, I never could eat it. It was just kind of like really nasty, you know, tasting. But now I just crave it. It's like the best part of it. Like it's so good. It's so stinking good. And then all the bacon fat is really, really amazing too. The one thing that I have to try again is scared me the first time because Mom did. She made my steaks in that tallow that one night, and then I had like severe stomach pains afterwards.
Yeah.
So I might have to try it again. I've been scared ever since. But
Yeah.
my stomach did freak out on the tallow. I mean, it had to be the tallow. That was the only thing I had that day was those steaks and some bacon in the morning or whatever. And then the only thing that was different that day was the tallow.
Right.
And yeah, my stomach was in pain for about 30 minutes, and then it finally went away.
Well, you can try it out
try it again.
and
It's like a
just
little bit or
see,
something.
yeah. But the tallow in my coffee,
The tallow's
y'all.
been working for y'all.
Oh, the tallow
good.
changed everything.
Amazing.
It changed
The
everything
butter
for
in
me.
my coffee has totally changed it because I was just drinking coffee in the morning on the Carnivore, and then I was starving. And I mean, we've been in our construction business. We've been working a lot, and in the morning we normally don't have time to make breakfast and stuff. So I'll just go ahead and put that clump of butter in there, and I'm good till lunch.
Right.
Really, really, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Big help.
It's really neat, and I just love it. Like listening to all of the different interviews. I always have one of them going during the day, and you'll just pick up little bits here and there, and then just different ways to help other people too. If somebody, has a problem with something, then you just hear these little tidbits of information. And it's just fascinating. And I love that coming from the plant-based world, a lot of the plant-based, they do have some doctors in the plant-based arena, but a lot of the plant-based is hype, and a lot of the plant-based is based on saving the planet.
Yeah.
It's
and low Melinda Ellen G. White propaganda.
Yeah, there is this agenda behind the plant-based stuff that really just is annoying, and now going over to, and it wasn't working for us, and we've done plant-based on and off.
And it costs a fortune.
And we'll never be sustainable with it ever.
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
And somebody was asking, is it doable for
is
a
this
large
sustainable?
family? Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
You eat so much less.
100%.
And you don't need snacks, so you don't eat any snacks. You don't buy
Right.
snacks. It is. I mean, our grocery bill is negligible to almost non-existent.
We had cabinets full of vitamins.
Yeah.
We had 2 whole giant cabinets full of vitamins. I just ordered vitamin organizers for each person in the family because the amount of vitamins we were taking on a plant-based diet was obscene.
Stupid.
And now,
Stupid
we
amounts.
could take a multivitamin if we wanted to.
And what people...
We need iodine because
Yeah.
that you're not going to get whether you're
Yeah.
plant-based or whatever you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to get iodine.
You get it from seafood, but yeah.
But other than that, you might want to keep a bottle of vitamin C in case you start
that's
feeling,
kinda-
a little
I
sick.
have
But
taken that sometimes. Like if I'm feeling a little bit like low, either energy wise or whatever, I've
feel
taken
cold coming on.
Yeah, you feel something a little bit, and then I'll take that and nothing. So the other thing too that I can't get this when people say this. They're like, oh, there's no vitamins or anything. I don't know. It's like they look at meat like it's just somehow this substance that has no nutritional value except for like protein in it. And I'm like, the cow eats the plants that have all the vitamins and minerals in it, then filters out all the dioxins and toxins, and then leaves you with this perfectly like mineral rich product. And then I think it's a lack of knowledge on those people's ends that are just like it's like somehow mineral deficient and has no vitamins in it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you get any more nutrient dense than beef and eggs. That's just the most.
When you were talking about like, it made so much sense because you were talking about how the ruminant animals and how they digest all of the plants, and they actually they're able to digest it and remove a lot or most of it of the toxins. And I was like, that makes so much sense. When the plants they don't have a digestion tract, that's smashing them up. And then you were saying that there's actually, what were you saying? There's insects in the cow's stomach, you were saying? And they help to break it down. It's so
fascinating.
nuts. It's very fascinating.
It's fascinating.
The modern marvel of evolution. It's incredible, mate.
Billions,
Billions of years.
And you have to look up just type in carnivore and cancer. And y'all, I have been listening to some amazing testimonies and some amazing doctors talk about the connection between a carnivore diet, a ketogenic diet, highly ketogenic diet, and cancer, and how it can put cancer right into remission. It's just amazing. And like the thing that I love about it is how in depth all of it is and how detailed it all is and scientific. And it's like, these aren't just people that are just spouting off these ideals. They're actually, scientists, they're practicing physicians, they're people that are treating people with cancer right now, and they're seeing these effects. And it's so exciting because, I mean, how many people have we been able to share with in the last 69 days and like offer them something and say, hey, you might want to look into this. You don't have to shove it down anybody's throat, but just, hey, I came across something.
Some people think you're crazy. But
our family's trying it out, and
most people have always thought you're crazy, so.
You might want to look into it. And that's just so powerful to be able to, somebody's suffering with something and you can just say, hey, you might want to look into this. And it's like so simple. It's not like, where do you even begin? Like, oh, getting them onto a whole foods diet, like, oh, where to even start? So it's just been incredible, y'all.
Eating beef heart is good.
Delicious.
Yeah, we tried it once actually in our Instapot, and it was really good. Liver, on the other hand, is disgusting.
Liver is terrible and disgusting.
Vile. It's
vile. Like boiled vomit.
So vile. The dog, the Great Pyrenees dog, Remington, when it's cooked, when it's raw, he'll eat it.
Yeah, he'll eat it.
When it's raw, he'll eat it. But when it's cooked, he won't even touch it. And I won't touch it with a 10-mile long pole because that stuff is nasty. It's dense and it tastes toxic like you shouldn't eat it. It's
Carlos
nasty.
is a liver fan.
Hey, if you
Carlos,
taste liver and you think it tastes good, then you should eat it.
Exactly.
Right.
And
your body is desiring those.
That's right. And when it stops tasting good, you should stop eating it.
Exactly.
Because you can really
mess yourself up.
You can mess yourself up with liver.
And you only need a really small portion of liver, like an incredibly small portion.
And you don't
go
even need it at all. You're totally fine without it at all.
Because don't you have to eat it in proportion of a whole cow, right?
Yes.
Because you want to eat a whole cow liver.
Right.
Or several during the week, because that's not even, normal people wouldn't, even back in the day when they would butcher their cows, they wouldn't even eat that much. They might have like a little small bit of liver
and
here
it's
and
the
there.
blood filter. I've never been convinced on that whole concept.
Eating the filter?
Yeah, eat the filter. That would be like pulling the water filter out of our water filter system.
And then pouring some water in there and drinking it.
No, just like cutting it up and chewing on it. Like,
it does taste horrible.
Yeah, that's what I'd expect it to taste like.
I've listened to several of these different doctors, and most of them are not like, it's not critical to eat liver. So, yeah.
Kidney is better. Okay, I've never tried a kidney.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a lot of good parts on a cow.
There's so many good
not
parts.
A filter. Okay.
Yeah. So
liver is not a filter.
So getting back to the grocery bill, getting back to how much this would cost a normal family, and then just waste and all of that. You want to speak to that a little bit, TD? Just how simplified all of our shopping has been now.
It's eliminated all of our shopping. I mean,
except for butter.
We get butter
and some bacon.
And butter and bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Once in
and
a
that's
while.
it. On occasion, It's reduced our waste by 75%. So we throw
Big
away
time.
no containers.
Yeah, we have empty
no
trash cans now.
Yeah.
We have 2 giant empty trash cans out
They're
there.
just for bacon wrappers and butter wrappers
That's pretty much it.
and boxes, I guess.
And I have considered fasting, and I've been. My buddy Billy is really up on fasting and doing different types of fasting, and I have thought about that because I know it's great for arthritis and all that stuff.
How about fat fasting? Have you looked into that?
I haven't looked into fat fasting, but
Well, fat
just
fasting
looked
is
into
really good for you.
fasting in general.
You have to look into fat fasting. I tried it the other day, but then I decided to eat some meat.
You were just eating fat.
I was gonna do it, yeah, and then I was like, this looks so good. I forget. I think we had like that reheated roast, and I was like, I just have to eat this. Never mind my fat fast.
Somebody wanted to know, have we been getting sick every 60 days for the last 3 years? And the answer is yes.
Yes, for a whole month or more.
Yeah.
Just
And it
wipes
was
the whole
ridiculous.
family
To
out.
the point when the littles would start to barely feel sick, they would get very upset because
They would start
it
crying.
was ridiculous.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
They would start
And-
crying because they knew it would be another month until they
Yeah.
would start
Yeah.
feeling better.
And right before we went carnivore, we were just finishing up a month of being sick.
Yep.
And the only reason that it finished with several of you is because you ended up at the doctor's office.
I was like, I'm done. I was like, I've been sick
Yeah.
for over a month. I'm done. I want to get back to work
Right.
and stop feeling like I have zero energy and like literally like a bottle of water in my lungs and like coughing up snot all day long, like mucus snot all day long.
Yeah.
And then like heaving and hauling. I'm like, I'm going to the doctor and I really don't care what he gives me, somewhat
right.
to
Yeah.
Sure.
a certain point.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think he can at least give me something that'll at least treat this. So
Mm-hmm.
he gave me the stuff actually for the Rona actually, and it
You gave
knocked
him
it out
the whole,
in a day.
the whole ball of wax, all of it.
The first day I already started feeling better, and it was a week cycle, and boom, knocked it out.
Yeah.
So and then after that I've been feeling good.
And
but then we went.
James
into the carnivore.
went, and Buddy,
James
and
went.
Dad.
Yep,
Yeah, I went,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I told him, I'm like, look, I'm healed. I'm good. You go and get it because, you know, you're working every day. You didn't stop working.
Nope.
We didn't really stop working,
It's
but we
just
just couldn't do as
horrible.
much on the homestead.
No,
because
because
we
you were
felt
like back
like
on the
crap.
couch again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you did what you could,
It's
and then
just dumb.
it was horrible.
dumb.
So that was miraculous, y'all. That was totally miraculous that we were able to just scoot right past that. And you know, everybody's different. Everybody has different things. You might not even realize what your things are, is what we're saying. Like if you tried it. The simplicity of it is amazing. There's no real meal prep. I mean, the meal prep is so basic. I mean, you don't have to think about it. It's like eggs and meat. Like, there's not really anything. And now we have brown butter bites, which are really fun to make.
Yummy.
So it's just been great. And I like to make that ice cream and have that in the freezer ready for the kids. They really
I'm not
like
a
that.
big fan of the ice cream. But
I'm not super into it, but it's loaded with eggs. I put like 6 or 8 eggs in just a pint of that ice cream. So it's also helps me to feel good that my little ones are getting, you know, even
they
more
love it.
eggs and things like that. And for the first few weeks, and I think even now we still have like a couple bags of frozen strawberries
Yeah.
in the freezer. So every once in a while, I'll make them like a strawberry smoothie, just strawberries and water and just, you know, a scoop of something to like flavor it.
What is
And
the ice cream called?
the ice cream is just a keto ice cream recipe, and it's you can make it with heavy cream, but we have not been able to find a clean version of heavy cream at any of our stores.
But we have a local dairy that we can go to.
We do, but
Yeah,
it's
just a haul.
like a half an hour away just for heavy cream. So, so just for convenience sake, I just use the heavy coconut cream because it's canned and I can keep it in the pantry, and eggs and vanilla. And I use a little tiny bit, like less than 2 tablespoons for a pint of our honey. is what I use in it. And we have the Ninja Creamy, which is great. So I have all the little containers all made up, and then I put them all in the freezer, and then they're ready to go for whenever any of the little ones want ice cream. And they eat ice cream like once a day at least. So that's a good treat for them.
And it's yummy for them. They like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
All right, y'all. So this is the 69-day update. Anything else, Matt? What you got?
I would say the other thing that us boys did add into our diet a little bit is once in a while, we do treat ourselves out, and we do get some ice cream though. So that is our treat or cheat or whatever.
So when you get ice cream, what do you look for?
So when we get ice cream, we look for. I like how you're making this face. You know, you could go out and buy ice cream too.
Yeah, I know.
No, he doesn't need
He
it.
doesn't
He
need
has
it, though.
goals. He has
He
goals.
does have goals. You know, we're in the stage of life where we can eat it and like it doesn't do anything to us.
Yeah. We're not in the stage,
You're not
honey.
in that
We're
stage.
not. We missed
Maybe
that
one day.
stage,
Old,
honey.
fat, and crippled.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Yes, and I do eat my fruit. I have some. The figs have been cranking, so I've been eating figs every day and some Asian pears. And the regular pears are starting to ripen. We ate the peaches when they were in. So
yeah, we just get ice cream that doesn't
good.
have high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of crap in it. So, but I do want to start making some of our own ice cream from some, not with coconut cream though, but with some normal Jersey cream.
Oh, that would be
do
good.
that. And it might just be worth that drive. You know, stock up on a lot of cream and then just bring it home.
You could freeze it.
And you could freeze it and do everything like that. So
Yeah.
also, I was listening to the Permaculture Pimpcast, and he had this chef on. He has him on.
Chef Snow.
Chef Snow. Thank you. I almost forgot it. And he was talking about storing fat.
A fat freezer.
Fat freezer. And I was like, that is such a good idea.
Brilliant, yeah.
And so, you know, you can buy your 25 pounds of butter in bulk or your tallow and then just freeze it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so smart.
And he was saying have a dedicated freezer
Yeah,
for fat.
for your fat.
You know, because your grams per ounce is like, for calories is 25.
You can't beat it.
Yeah,
You
can't
just
touch
can't
it.
beat it.
Right. Well, that's what I love about the tallow is that it's shelf stable too. So
Yeah, Shouting at Cloud said about refrigerating it, but ours is organic and it stays on the counter in the bucket.
yeah, if you look up tallow, it's shelf stable. Just like, I mean, they recommend, you know, I think for about a year is what Google will say for tallow to sit out. But it solidifies, it's solid when it sits on the
We don't
counter.
listen to Google. It's a
Well,
setup.
I'm just saying that some people say 2 years in the refrigerator. 1 7-pound tub of tallow lasts us about a month and a half. So I did do some whipped tallow bites. I love my tallow, but I think I just love it in my coffee. So I do my tallow in the coffee with a little cinnamon and a little bit of vanilla, and then I do my 4 drops of iodine in my coffee, and you don't even have to torture yourself. You won't even taste it, and it's so good. Like, I love it, and I loved the coconut cream for all these years. I mean, ideally, I would love real cream from a cow, but that's not, you know, an option. So the coconut cream was a good filler, but the tallow, even more, y'all.
Yeah, the big negative on the coconut cream was the cans all the time, and then throwing away the can. The cans and throwing away the cans just always kind of got to me. I've always been like, man, why do we just got to create?
Well,
so much
and the
waste?
Galvalume that they're
and
packing.
yeah. I mean, supposedly it's BPA free, but whatever. I mean,
Whatever.
But that's like any container. So I mean,
They're BPA free, but then what did you swap the BPA out with? That's
Right.
what I always want to know.
right.
What other like nasty plastic did you swap the BPA out
Yeah.
for?
So I think what
something even worse than the BPA.
So we've been letting people, our neighbors and friends, shop our pantry. I text them lists of things that are in my pantry that they can come shop it, and I'll give them great deals. And
once again, just going to shout this out.
Oh, yes.
We have, before we wrap everything up here, we have 2 cows available for next month on the texasboys.com. So if you are close to the Northeast Texas area, go on over to the texasboys.com and you can put down $100 deposit on a whole cow, half a cow, or a quarter of a cow. And that's the same with the pigs, whole pig, half a pig, or a quarter of a pig. And those are non-vaccinated and they're grass-fed, grass-finished. So.
And also check out our Brighteon store and the products that we get from Mike Adams that we really enjoy, and they're high quality. And hey, call Stacey y'all if you're looking for hard assets. Gold and silver continue to drop. The spread continues to drop. Great buying opportunity. So check the notes below and give Stacey a call. Let her know the Texas Boys sent you.
Do we want to give them her phone number right now?
Stacey's phone number is 318-564-5823. And then lastly, please sign up for the Fearless Podcast on your favorite pod player. I love the Fountain app. And for all of y'all that are unaware, if as you listen to podcasts on the Fountain app, you earn Satoshis, which are fractional Bitcoin. So they'll actually pay you to listen to podcasts, and then you can communicate with your favorite podcaster.
Well, and the cool thing is that you can go on there, listen to our podcast. You can make some money.
Yeah.
And then you can donate, so it pretty much doesn't cost you anything.
It won't cost you anything.
So it's awesome. It's like win-win-win.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat.
Very cool, y'all.
And we're pixelating
We're pixelating. Restream is doing their thing. So
yeah.
We love
We
y'all.
hit an hour, so
Stay in touch.
Yeah.
And we'll see y'all on the next video.
Yeah, hopefully we encourage some of y'all to get after it.
Just do it.
Yeah. Or if you already are carnivore, to stick with it and keep up the good fight. So anyway, y'all. All right. See y'all later. Absolutely, Carlos. I'll tell the other boys that you said hi.